Welcome to my YouTube channel. Like, comment, subscribe. There is commentary, and the original video will be linked in the description.
What do you got for me?
So I am 44.
Congratulations.
I know you're gonna say it's the danger zone.
No, baby, you left the danger zone 9 years ago. You were in no man's land.
That's so not true, Kevin.
Okay.
You know, when a woman calls up an image consultant over the age of 40 looking for a significant other is a major red flag. Now, if this is the woman, if I'm correct, I believe I know her personally. I think she's a comedian. We did martial arts for uh over 20 years together. She is a black belt. If this is the same lady, she looks very familiar. So I remember at the time she wasn't married, and at that time everyone was trying to talk to her. Everyone was trying to get, and she overpassed a lot of people. Very kind lady, very kind. But when it comes to dating, she always had the expression that everyone's beneath her. So it's just funny that.
Then why are you here? Because you have a man? I mean, no man's land, meaning, what does no man's land mean? Between 36 and 60, where all the men are in relationships, or are they on the way out the door? Are there more men after 36 or before? Thank you.
But there's an exception.
There's always an exception, but is that how we want to live our lives? What's your question?
So my question is, why is it that you feel that there's no hope for us at 44, no kids?
Are you married? Were you ever married?
I was married.
Another red flag. Why does she have to even ask that? At her age, over 40 years old, she hasn't had any luck finding a significant other. Even during her prime, in her 20s, she wasn't able to capture the type of man that she wants and still be with him to this day. Major red flag.
Any children?
No children.
How long were you married?
I was married for 9 years.
Okay. And you guys chose not to have any kids, or what?
No, we tried.
Okay. Leave it there. And y'all got divorced. Why?
Because of the massive trying and not happening, and went down a slippery slope. I went through a depression, and
okay. So who filed?
I filed.
On grounds of what?
I felt I wasn't worthy.
You felt you were not worthy? How long ago was your divorce?
About 10 years ago.
All right. So you're 44. That was 19 years of your life. You got married at 25? All right. You haven't had a relationship in 10 years.
I did. I was engaged after.
And why didn't that proceed to marriage?
Because he enjoys having like a side woman. But again, back then I just felt like, it has to be perfect. And
well, that's okay. So you answered your own question. Why do I feel there's no hope? Because how many chances at bat do you ladies think you're going to get in life?
Correct.
You've been married. That's more than 75% of other black women can ever say. Mm-hmm. And you break that. Then you mess around and get another fiance. And it's not perfect. So you leave that.
But then I left that so that I can work on me.
That's the excuse you get. Okay. That's the Oprah excuse. I don't buy that shit.
Well, let me
explain why I don't buy. You asked me. Let me tell you why. Because why you could have worked on yourself in the context of a relationship. See, you black women.
Another red flag. How can you possibly want to leave your marriage? You want to leave someone to work on yourself. There's no time during the day for you to do that while you're in the relationship.
Have this all or none. You act like you can't do multiple things at one time.
Correct, you're
And
right.
then you ask, why do I feel like there's no hope? Well, if you spend most of your time breaking up in relationships and not working out stuff, you got more history of that. And especially at 44, that pattern's pretty well set.
But
So
you,
it's not that there's no hope, it's just that it becomes infinitesimal.
but you did say that women and men should come correct, get your shit together before you come into a relationship with someone else. So if you know that there's challenges that you're dealing with while you're
Yeah, before you get with someone else, but you was currently with someone, y'all could have did that together. Why would you leave the person that's dealing with you? Obviously, you may be attractive woman, whatever, but obviously you're not easy to deal with because you're still single. All the good, and at your age, all the good men don't. At your age, the man that matches your age and meets all your requirements, all your standards, he doesn't. The problem is that he doesn't want you. Crazy.
single, not in a relationship, but while you're single,
Yeah,
get
but I guess true.
That's another thing I don't like. That's another toxic trait that a lot of modern women do. They'll be out of shape, fat, or having all these issues. They'll break up with a guy and then they'll lose the weight and work on themselves and then blame the guy why you didn't want me at that time when I was fat, ugly, depressed, or I didn't work on myself. You could have worked on yourself while you was in that relationship, and most likely the man would have supported you because that's why he's still with you because he cares about you whether you're overweight, whatever. So you could have actually worked on yourself. You wanted to leave your current relationship, work on yourself to get a new relationship because during your old relationship you feel like you wasn't put together. Stupid.
However, 40, you said you had a 9-year marriage that you divorced from, and you had a relationship that you left because he was cheating,
yeah,
and you never cheated.
I have.
Exactly. And how long ago did that end?
About maybe 7 years ago.
And what have you been doing since then?
Well, that's when I started working on myself because
But see, that's the
The problem is that it took her all this time to work on herself. She called up Kevin Samuels, meaning that she still hasn't worked on herself. She's still lost. From the way she's talking at her age, she's definitely lost. Kevin Samuels' content should be more for people that's under 30 years old. 25 years old, still figuring out life. They think that they have all this time in the world. It's like, no, find settle down, settle. That's what his content should be for. It shouldn't be for the 44-year-old. 44-year-old people should be able to get stuff together. I'm pretty sure later on in this, she's gonna say that she had therapy. She got therapy, and so your therapist couldn't help you. Your life coach couldn't help you. Kevin Samuels definitely is not going to be able to help you. Rest in peace. You need medication.
That's what I don't understand. 7 years, man. I'm not 37 or 44. Jesus
Did-
Christ, how long are y'all supposed to French toast work? That's what I mean. Yeah, I was like, well, I'm gonna work on myself. That's another way to say I'm going to just sit here and give it to God. And hope we've allowed y'all to do this. And no.
But I'm saying it's correct. But it took me that time to realize it. And you know,
Okay. Well, here's the unfortunate part. The women your age tend to want, are you what the men you want?
I believe so.
Okay. Children are off the table. What do you need? What do you need from a man financially?
For him to hold it down.
What does that mean?
So what that means is, you know, as a woman, and
Put a dollar.
At 44 years old, she shouldn't need a man at 44 years old, single, she should have worked on herself enough to be able to financially take care of herself. At that age, she shouldn't need a man financially. The roles at that age, the roles kind of change. The leadership roles and so forth changes. She's been single long enough. She should be making more than enough income. She can't be a housewife. She can't be a mother. She can't have kids. She can't. So there's no need for her to stay home and be a housewife.
Value on it. Don't give me the yearbook answer.
At least a minimum of 6 figures. Minimum.
She's not worth 50. She's not worth $25,000 a year. She can't produce kids. She doesn't know how to keep a relationship. When she has a relationship that's good, she'll leave. She's a quitter. She'll leave that relationship to work on herself. 20 years later, she still hasn't worked on herself.
Are you kidding?
I'm not kidding.
I laugh, man, because I'm trying to keep it light, but the next question I'm going to ask was, how tall are you?
I'm 5'2".
Dress size.
It's a small.
What is that?
You said, what is that?
Yeah.
That's size 2.
Okay. But even if you're 44, the dress size 2, a man who is at least your age or older, earning $100,000, what do you think he wants from a woman?
Well,
Children.
Of course.
And barring that, if he's not going to get a woman his children, he's going to get a woman with, let's just put it this way, less damage. Do you care if he's black or not?
I do care if he's black.
Crazy. That is insane. Majority of black men make under $50,000 a year, $47,000 a year across the board. The average man makes the average black man in America makes $47,000 a year. In some cities, they make $35,000. So
what percentage of black men earns 6 figures or more?
It's a small percentage.
What percentage is that?
About 5-10%.
Right. And you got to ask a very hardcore question. 9 out of 10 men are not good enough for you. What in the blue blazes are you bringing to the table to make you the better choice out of all of those women that want that 10% of men?
Well, the fact that I know what it takes more now than before about holding a man down in reference to being a woman.
Mm-hmm. And how are you going to compete against a 27-year-old who knows all that from the rip?
That's if they know all that. A lot of the 27-year-olds don't.
Yeah, but again, you just see what older women tend to do. You tend to paint yourself the best case scenario that younger women are like I was, and they're not. I just got back off a date with a woman in her 20s, and I'm going to tell you, they are not like women in their 40s. I don't date women in your age range, and I'll tell you why. Because it's just more problematic. You got more things that have happened. Life has happened.
Mm-hmm.
And this may be hard to hear, but there's really nothing new with an older woman. You've likely already own your own home. You have your own car. You've been here. You've been there. It's all standard and no asset. What you have yet to say is what women like yourself at your age are bringing better than younger women. And you have to be able to articulate that if you expect somebody to buy it. That's why I laugh, because I've seen this so many times that when I ask a woman, I'm like, well, I just know how to hold a man down. Okay, well, tell me what that means.
It's not yet, but I wanted to let you finish. I didn't want to talk over you. But
Go
it's
ahead.
not, it's holding it down, is be able to be his partner in a sense, as far as men really want a woman that knows how to communicate, compromise, be able to know how to cook, clean, have fun, travel, be a partner, be his supporter. It's not just about
She's naming everything you're supposed to be as a human being. Just you being a good person as a human being. You're supposed to know those things. Cook, clean. Those are stuff that have fun, learn how to communicate. That's just you as a human. That's basic human. That's what you're supposed to learn how to do. There's nothing that you're supposed to come with as a human. So when you get in a relationship, that should already be included, but that's not something top tier.
just to be there, just to be his friend.
So I accept that. Yes, I accept that. And I'm just as harsh with women. If women are going to come in and say he needs to make at least 6 figures, I'm going to say I accept that. Then you're going to have to tell me what the French toast you're doing to negate 90% of men, because you're telling them that they're not good enough. So it's about time women have to hear.
That's not true. I never said that they weren't good enough. You just said what I would like.
Okay, I'm not trying to play semantics, man. I said what did you said he needs to make at least 6 figures.
Yeah.
If he's not making at least 6 figures, he's not what you want.
Oh, didn't say that. I didn't say if he's not.
All right, I'm expecting I'm talking to a grown up at 44. I'm not playing word games.
You ask what I want, but however, I am flexible. You have.
No, it's not about you being flexible. You don't qualify for those type of men. Obviously, if you did, you would not be calling up Kevin Samuels. Those men don't want you. And if they do, they just want to have a good time with you. Not a long time. Just want to have sex with you. Not marry you and not be with you for the long, have you meet their family. They don't want that from you. You don't qualify for that.
To be flexible and be able to compromise. You always want to score.
It's not you're compromising. They will be compromising with you. You need to find someone, you need to find where you fit in the dating market. That's who you need to date. You don't qualify for men that makes over $100,000. You qualify for the average guy making $50,000 a year, and you can have a really great time.
Score high. However, you could meet somewhere down in the middle if you don't get it. We're not always going to get everything we want. We can ask for it, but it's not that we're always going to get exactly what we want.
Tell that shit to somebody who believes it. You can't. I believe what you said after the rip, because you had the better part of 5 minutes to say that. Now you're backpedaling. At no point in the last 5 minutes have you made this, well, I'm flexible. Why are you flexible now? Please don't get in the comment section. I'm not there.
No, I looked up.
So you asked me why I say, and ma'am, if you go back and look at this conversation, if you can objectively go back and look at it, it's because you're presenting as a 44-year-old woman with 44-year-old experience and requirements and expectations and ways to converse and to talk. Younger women typically don't do this verbal judo that a lot of old women like to do, because they still have hope. They're still like, I'm still young, hot, this and that. I can just tell you what it is. Older women tend to be like, well, and guys aren't trying to play games. They're just trying to understand what it is. I'm making no judgments about that you want somebody making 6 figures, because I do believe that's what you want. Because are you making that kind of money? Then human nature tells me that that's what you want. Women are hypergamous by nature. Want a man to have at least what you have. Well, unfortunately, only 8% of black men earn what you earn. That's married, unmarried, gay, straight, whatever. And they don't want what you're saying. And it still is, the question is, there is little to no hope for women who are 44 years old wanting a black man in the top 8% of black men. Because honestly, your competition is too stiff with just black women. That doesn't even include the other women. So my question is, why is a man making $50,000 not enough?
It's not that he's not enough.
Well, we can play that game.
I've dated that they were making 50,000.
Okay, but why is the bar not 50?
I like to set my standards high, and if I don't get it.
Okay, man, but do you like to set your standard high? Are you up there? On sexual marketplace value, are you up there?
On the sexual marketplace value?
Yeah, so your standard is high. So you like to set your asking price high. Okay, then is your value on the same?
Most valuable thing a woman can give another man is children. And she cannot do that. Her value has dropped significantly. She's older. Her value has dropped even more. Her value is below 50%.
Market, is it high?
I mean, I don't think it's that high.
You don't think it's... So I want to be clear. You're saying your asking price is higher than what you think your value is.
Yeah, I don't think what I'm asking for is a lot. I mean, I know
so
it is a lot because it's keeping you single. It's keeping you to call on to a guy on the internet. Women that have it together, they don't need advice. They have men flocking to them ridiculously of all ranges. You're struggling to find a guy. You probably have plenty of guys trying to talk to you, but you won't settle down because they're not the guy that you want to talk to you. You can get many men to propose to you, but you can't find the man that you want to propose to you because you want a guy that's way above. That's you thinking you're up on a certain level, and you want men to be on that level, but you're not even on that level. Those men don't want you. If you were to meet a guy on your level, which is $50,000 a year, a great man making $50,000. But the problem is that the $50,000 men, they want the same as $100,000 men. They don't want you. You have to go to the lower range.
What I'm asking you is, whatever you feel like you're asking for, is it higher than is who you are higher than what you're asking for? Or is it lower? Yeah. Who you are is higher.
Who I am and what I'm asking for? Yeah.
Who you are, your sexual marketplace value is higher than.
You say sexual marketplace value as far as who I am.
Sexual marketplace value is simply this, ma'am. You have a number on your head like the rest of us. You are a 0 to 10 in looks. You're a 0 to 10 in figure. You're a 0 to 10 in agreeableness, femininity, cooperative. It all comes out to a number. From 0 to 10, you're there. And 8s, 9s, and 10s can get the higher, can is what men who tend to be in the top 10% typically shoot for. Mm-hmm. See, you ladies don't tend to analyze yourself correctly. So you say $100,000 is not that much. Okay. But what you're telling me is that's kind of low compared to what you bring to the table. No, it's a fair deal.
No, it's at that. I would say my value is I'm marketing based on my value as well.
And what is your value based upon?
Based on what I bring to the table as a person.
Okay.
Which is my personality.
Uh-huh.
And my
men don't give a fuck about
feminine side as well.
Mm-hmm.
And with age, I'm still willing to learn. Mm-hmm. I'm learning every day.
Okay.
I don't believe just because a man comes in and wants to teach me something new that, I got it. I actually will let him be the man. Mm-hmm. You know, that takes a lot for somebody my age, because most of the time for us, we're stuck in our ways, but I'm not.
Mm-hmm. Is any of that what men value?
Nope.
I'm sorry?
Is any of that stuff you just said what men value?
Based on conversations I've had with some of the men, yeah. But based on what I'm hearing on your show, you're saying no.
Right, because it's not. Men value your femininity, your youth, your fertility, your cooperativeness, and your submission. So I've asked this question from women. As a business person, what product on the market increases in value with age and use?
Nothing.
Well, this is what you ladies continue to do because you are getting older and because you feel like your experience or who you are is trumps a younger woman, that it should increase your value, but it doesn't. It's your age. It's lower than it was. Your value is less than it was 10 years ago, which is less than it was 10 years before that. But you're asking for earnings and a man that women in their 20s at the peak of their sexual marketplace value. This is what I think a lot of you ladies don't seem to either want to accept or understand. Your value to a man is not your income, your education, or your experience.
Yeah, that I already know.
All right. So when I say, why does he need to make six figures? It's, why is $50,000 not enough? Because, man, what you bring to the table, what you told me, quite honestly, seems to be rather average. You're not bringing anything extraordinary. You're not bringing anything below. You're bringing pretty much average what a woman can bring to the table. I haven't heard it. I mean, unless I'm missing something. Is there something that you have that you feel like you're bringing that's extraordinary or above average? That's not education.
Honestly, at 44 years old, she had therapy, probably had life coach, watch all these videos and so forth. She says she watched Kevin Samuels content. She should be flying off the handles of what she offers. There shouldn't be any type of hesitation. She should be flying off the handles, naming bam, bam, what she offers. Because she says she watches Kevin Samuels content and she had a therapist and she's been working herself for the past 15 to 20 years. At this point, she should know exactly. There shouldn't be no hesitation. It should be boom, boom. She should be hitting all the talking points of what she actually offers, not what she offers as a human being. Those type of quality, learn how to communicate. You got to do that at your job. You got to do that speaking to. That's just you as a human. Cooking, you need to eat. You should be cooking. If you're 44 years old and you live alone, you should be cooking by yourself. That's what anyone would expect.
Or income.
My personality.
Asset base. Huh?
My personality.
Your personality.
Personality doesn't matter. If you're feminine, if you're in your femininity and you're feminine, you're cooperative and you're submissive, men don't care about your personality. That's gonna you should have a good personality anyway, due to you being submissive, cooperative, and feminine. Your personality is already gonna match. So we expect you to have a good person. You're 44 years old. You're supposed to have have a good personality.
My personality, my mindset. I'm very open-minded. My communication.
I mean, even listening to her, she seems like a very sweet lady, but even listening to her, it sounds depressing. It really, really sounds depressing. Even speaking to her, it's dull. She's saying she communicate, but this is a boring conversation.
I think you understand that
But
there's no way for somebody to really quantify a personality without deciding to pick you. And open-minded, man, quite honestly, you may be open-minded for who you used to be, but there are women who are raised to be a companion to a man who are far more open-minded. See, what I'm saying is the things you're saying are still pretty average. So, and how we got here is, why do you say that there's no hope? Well, there's no hope for women. I'm going to say there's no hope, but it's extremely small for women who are demanding such a high price. When they bring so little to the market that the men who can pay that price want. And the net of it is men are not going.
And there's nothing for her to be sad about what he's saying about the younger woman. At one point, she was able to offer the same. She was able to offer. She was young once. That's why Kevin Samuels is very hard on women, because he's trying to let them know, listen, don't waste your 20s. Don't waste your 20 giving it to everybody. Focus on one person. Don't be, she looks like she's being sad. Like don't be sad. You have to realize you had that opportunity. It is gone. Okay, now that it's gone, what we do moving forward? In your 20s, you didn't want this type of man. So you're gone. You can't get the 20s back. Now you're 44 years old. You don't qualify what you qualified for in your 20s. You don't qualify for that anymore. It's over. Those men do not want you. But when you was in your 20s, the men that you're thinking of right now, they wanted you when you was in your 20s. You blew past them. You didn't accept them. You probably was with one, but you left him to go work on yourself, and you're still not fixed. You did him a favor.
Men who have options are going to get the best deal they can.
And I agree. But I still have my own opinion where I feel like, for myself, I don't feel like there's no hope. I don't feel like there's no hope.
And this is what I'm trying to say. I feel like, God bless Kevin, man. These women are delusional. They're really, really delusional. There's hope. You've been single for over 10 years. And you're saying there's hope, and you're 44 years old. Of course there's hope, but this is not hope for the type of man you want. The type of man you want. You want him to be the man that you should have been picking when you're 20s. Sad.
Say there was no hope, but sure, but how much is enough? How much, what percent out of 100%, how much hope is enough? Not a fair question. You keep saying this.
That's crazy for her not to know. How you don't know? This is your life you're playing. You're playing with your own life. You don't know the percentage? You don't know what's the chances of you finding something? You said you worked on yourself. You playing with it. You playing with time. You're gonna be 50 soon. You're 44. You're gonna be 50 soon. Now this video is probably a year and a half or 2 years ago, right? So now she's even older, and I bet you she still didn't find someone. Hopefully she lowered her standards, or she put her standards back to reality where it should be, and hope she woke up and found someone. But most likely, if she worked on herself for over 10 years and went for therapy and life coaching, and she still didn't find anyone, she's still lost. She's still in the matrix. Blue pill.
Let's hope so. How much hope is enough for you? It's not your question.
It's just, I'm just saying what it is.
But you haven't told me. But what I'm trying to understand is, you said there's hope. I said, okay, but out of 100%, how much hope is enough for you?
Probably a small percentage, but it doesn't mean that it's zero.
Well, what is it though? It's not at zero. Then what is it?
Maybe at 20%, because of the age bracket and where I'm at.
Okay,
Yeah.
So 20%, pretty liberal, but 20%. So you're willing to risk dying alone?
No, I'm not.
Listen, I didn't finish the question.
I'm
You're
sorry.
willing to risk a 20% hope that you can get this six-figure man versus lowering it down to where you got about a better than 80% shot of getting a man.
No, but I didn't say that I that if I don't get the 100, that there's no way I'm gonna go back. I would decrease. I never said I wouldn't.
Well, I asked you about the $50,000 a year guy, and you said that no.
Well, because I had it, and he wasn't even able to sustain
Well,
his
the
goal.
point is, ma'am, see,
Was living a-
what you're missing is that we can play back and forth, man, but I asked you about the $50,000 a year guy, which is the median income for men in this country. Most men make that. Most of the men you run across are going to make that.
Mhm. Most, but not all.
All right. Well, this is why, and so to people who are confused and why I say average at best, die alone, is because women are willing to take a small hope. You're saying 20%. It's nowhere close to being 20%. It's closer to about 5.
Okay.
5%. And I don't even think 5. I think arguably closer to about 2. Because you're talking about 8% of men. You're talking about 8% of men.
Mhm.
You 8% of men, period. Then they have to be in your area. What state are you in?
New York.
They have to be in your area. They have to be in your age range. They have to be unmarried and heterosexual. And it's an extremely small group of men. If I actually told you how many, the physical number of men, black men, earn 6 figures or more, it is less. Let's just do it real quick. Let's do it real quick. Let's do a rough number. There are 40 million black people in this country, right? Half are men, half are women. So it's roughly 20 million black men. 20 million black men. Multiply that times 0.8. That's just 0.8. 1.6 million. But we still have to adjust it for age. Let's just say half of the men are marrying age. 18 or above. Half. That means 800,000. 800,000 black men of marrying age that earn $100,000 or more. 800,000. And they are spread out across the United States. That's not adjusted for marital status, sexual orientation. So if you take half of you take a half of that number. And you take half of that number. We did this number before. You want to know what it came out to be? I'll tell you what the number came out to be when we crunched it about a year and a half ago. That's what the number came out to be. 181,000 black men earn 6 figures or more of marrying age, heterosexual. 181,000 and 20 and if you say 20 million black women, half marrying age, 10 million, and you say 1 in 4 will marry, so you say 75%, 7.4 million, 7.5 million women looking for 181,000 black men. Now you want to tell me 20%? Let's do it. Let's divide it by 7.5 million. 0.024%, not 20.
That's very low.
Even if you multiply it times 100, even if you say that number is off, Kevin, your math is off. Multiply that number times 100, still 2.4%. I don't just get up here and talk shit. I don't just get up here and pull numbers out of them. I don't just make up stuff.
No, that's why I respect you.
So my point is, you're saying there's a hope. There's a hope. Is there really a hope with that small of a number?
No, I wasn't saying a hope for that amount, just saying hope in general for women like myself.
Yeah, if you start having realistic expectations.
Mm-hmm.
But you haven't seemed to have any realistic expectations on this call. It's been more towards, well, it's hopeful, right? You know what? I think I'm gonna do that as a breakdown on YouTube. I'm gonna actually just throw a number up there so women can get their mind around how many men this really is. So y'all can all realize, oh, by the way, that percentage of men, 181,000, 7.5 million black women are looking for them. Also, a percentage of every other race of women too.
Yeah.
So, would it make more sense to lower something as arbitrary as money down, especially as you guys get older? But I will tell you, that if you were on Instagram Tuesday, 4 black women. There was a woman on there was 41 years old, $200,000 earnings. She was saying the same stuff you're saying. There was on that same stream, 1 woman said she wanted a guy making 500. Three women. It's like
I know.
I've been doing this show since May, and from 18 to 70, from GED to PhD, you're all looking for the same 185,000 people.
Mhm.
Now,
Ma'am, better you than me.